Ladies and gentlemen, uncles and aunts, this is actually going to be for Patrick's and Brown's direct aunts and uncles mostly. My cousin Geraldine allowed me to borrow this book. I'm going to guess 7 years ago. I was supposed to scan it. She's going to get it back. I thought it might be fun to read some of the stories out of it. So this is about my grandma Billie Brown. Billie Willadine Ruth Patrick. She was born July 28th, 1920, I think. 29th? 28th. Here we go. She was born in a log cabin in Hamilton County. Her mother's name was Rilda Ann Elkins Patrick. And she was born in Kentucky in 1900. And her dad's name was John Lloyd Patrick. He was born August 13th, 1894. His dad was James Motley, who married Annie Patrick Motley Lacey, which is Grandma Lacey. She was born in 1887. And James Albert Elkins married Margaret Day Elkins, and he was born July 28th. July 28th also, 1876. Her siblings are Imogene, Margaret, Virginia, John, Barbara, James. Have all their birth dates. She was married May 3rd, 1939 in North Vernon, Indiana, to my grandfather, Forrest Earl Brown, brother of Florence Pearl Brown, and her children are Jerry Richard, Michael Allen, and Kathy Ray. Her favorite flower was violets or lilacs. Her perfume was Avon Candid. Favorite color is pink, all shades. Her favorite hymn or song is I Don't Know About Tomorrow. Her favorite book is Clan of the Cave Bear. I remember her reading that multiple times in her nest, as she called it. Author Jean M. Aul, A-U-L. Her favorite Bible verse, Philippians 4:13. Favorite dessert is chocolate. Her favorite vacation spot is Curtis, Michigan. I didn't know that. Her favorite food is bread and butter. She didn't have a favorite sport, and she really enjoyed reading. What was your favorite pastime as a child? Did you prefer doing it alone or with someone else? She liked roller skating in the house with Imogene, Pat, and Jenny until the floor was worn down. She liked playing on the logs and piles of the pea holes at the canning factory, which, by the way, is Brockway Glass in Lapel, and I accidentally found a mason jar from Brockway Glass last week. It's in my stuff, so it's got set aside. Who gave you your name and why? Did you have a family nickname? How did you get it? Grandma Elkins named me because I was born on her birthday, and she got my name out of a book. The family nickname was Billie, and my Uncle Scott started calling me that when I was about 5. Scott Elkins. Describe your childhood bedroom. What was the view from your window? We had 2 bedrooms upstairs. My mom and dad slept in the bedroom off the stairs. All of the kids slept in the front bedroom except for the babies. We had 3 beds, and I usually slept with Pat and Jenny. I'd always stomp around until they would let me sleep in the middle. We always had lots of company in and out, so we usually had 3 kids in a bed. I slept with Johnny Lee for a little while, and he picked a mole off my neck. When I was real little, I slept with my dad until I wet all over him. He wouldn't let me sleep with him anymore. I always wanted to sleep in the middle, no matter what. When did you first go to church? What are your earliest memories of church? I went to the Missionary Alliance when I was young. I was probably 8. I went when I wanted to go because my family didn't go to church. Helen Ledbetter used to let me borrow books, and I think she's the one who invited me to go to her church. I didn't go with anyone that I can remember. When it was cold, I used to sit by the big round stove. One old lady used to try to get you to go up front, and she really scared me. Sometimes she would drag you up there. So then I started going to the United Brethren Church on Ford Street. I went there for several years. I remember going to the youth group. What we can learn from this is if you go to church, don't drag the children up to the front. Huh. Where did your father go to work every day, and what did he do? This is so cool. He's a maintenance man at Brockway Glass Factory in Lapel. He worked on the big machines there. He always had a good job. What's really this is fascinating. So Grandpa John was a maintenance man at Brockway Glass. Great Grandpa Fred Brown was a maintenance man at DuPont, which made silica to make glass. And my grandfather, my mom's dad, Jim Howell, also worked with Fred in maintenance at DuPont to make glass. Interesting. Really interesting. Coincidences. How did your mother spend her day? Did she have a job or did she volunteer work outside the home? She just took care of the kids. She always had a house full of people and was cooking all the time. I had to do the dishes all the I love this story. I wrote this one. I had to do the dishes all the time and hated it. Sometimes I would hide, hoping someone else would do it, the dishes. I would look through the windows to see if they were done yet. I used to take the pans I had to soak and hide them under the rhubarb leaves in the garden. Mom used to wonder where the pans were going. On Saturdays, Mom and Dad would go to the tavern and leave us kids to do the house. Pat did the kitchen because I hated it, and I did the upstairs. My mom was also a midwife for Dr. Rin, R-I-N-N-E. I think she did that to help pay for the doctor bills. I thought he brought babies in his black bag. When he came with his bag, I told him we didn't need any more babies around here. Describe what your family room looked like when you were a child. So again, Grandma's born 1920. A great big room with a bunch of old furniture. We had 4 old chairs and a studio couch that made into a bed. There wasn't any rug on the floor. We never had nice furniture. Most of the time we sat on the floor. I can remember my mom sitting on the floor with her head in Dad's lap, reading old westerns. We would all sit around and listen to the radio. We would all sit around and listen to her read. We had a big wood-burning stove, a big old potbelly. What kind of prayer did you say before you went to sleep? Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. I can't remember where I learned this prayer. Probably in Sunday school. Where was your childhood home located? Did you enjoy living there? Lapel, Indiana. Lived there until I got married. Yes, I never knew anything different. We could go any place in town, and no one would bother us. We could run in the woods, even go swimming in the nude. Describe your grandparents' houses. Did you visit them often? Why or why not? Grandma Elkins. She lived in Perkinsville, Indiana. I used to ride the school bus home, and she would have cinnamon rolls made. Ooh, they were so good. I don't remember what the house looked like. Yes, we visited them often. I could ride the school bus to their house and spend the night. I did this a lot my freshman year. Grandma Lacey. She lived in Madison and North Vernon, right off of the Ohio River. I liked the place in North Vernon best. Big white house up on a hill. About every summer we would go and stay a week. It took us 3 hours to get there. We would follow the yellow band or yellow land, I can't tell, trail. Posts we marked with yellow. Posts we marked with a yellow stripe. Grandma Lacey would cook like it was going out of style. She didn't have electricity for a long time. List one special memory about each of your brothers and sisters. I love you, Grandma. You don't want to write all this stuff. I got 7 of them. I'm a Jean Catherine. I sure gave her a hard time. Margaret Ruby, Pat. I loaned Pat's new dress to someone else. Virginia May, Ginny. We got in a fight over a straw hat. There wasn't a strand left. John Lee, or Johnny. It was amazing I hadn't killed him. He used to tease me. Barbara Ellen. She said I taught her a lot of school stuff. I told her she was a little blob. She was quiet. James Elbert, Jim Boy. I was 10 years old when he was born. I was shocked. I didn't even know Mom was pregnant. I came home from school and she pulled back the cover and there lay that black-haired baby. Recall for me one of the most important lessons you've learned in your life. That your kids sure change your life, but all for the best. There are a lot of things that have changed in my life since I was young. Honesty. Be kind to people, and you reap what you sow. Share a memory of your grandparents or an older person you loved. My cousin Daisy. I stayed with her just after she got married. I slept with them in the middle of their bed. She had fixed me a room of my own, but I was scared, so she moved my bed into their room, but I wasn't satisfied until I was in their bed sleeping in between them. I asked her why she let me do that to them. I remember Daisy. I got to meet her a couple of times. This is great. I honestly didn't expect this to be as good as it actually is. I haven't read this in years. Who was the first person to talk to you about God? What effect did this have on you? I suppose my Sunday school teacher. Oh, I think I always believed in God. I went to Little Missionary Alliance Church. I hated that church because she would always drag you up to the front. Oh. After I was too little to know what I wanted, or to know what it meant. When did you become a Christian? How did your life change? On February 26, 1949, Jerry and I went together. On the same evening, Estill Taylor was the minister at the Fortville Christian Church on Church Street. It's now the Baptist Church. And it's not, it's now 10 West. Oh, I didn't swear no more. I used to swear like a sailor. Chalk, he made me stop and saying things. I don't know how he stood me. I wanted my kids to grow up to be good kids. My family was not church-going people. Oh, where am I at here? 13 minutes, okay. Who gave you your first Bible and how old were you when you received it? How did it influence your life? I just bought it, I guess. I don't even know which it was now. Now I buy big print. I never had a Bible when I was little. Describe a memorable Valentine you received. Okay. I was in the 2nd grade. My aunt, Mabel Dean, bought me a heart-shaped box filled with candy. I thought I was something because none of the other kids got one. How far did you have to travel to attend elementary, junior high, and high school, and how did you get there? I went to the same place all through school. I really thought I was big when I was in 7th grade. You got to go up the stairs. I walked 3 blocks to school. It's not really about me, this video, but I used to walk to school in 1st and 2nd grade, and I totally remember how the big kids used to go upstairs at the old Portville High School. What scent or sound immediately takes you back to childhood? Describe the feeling. My mom always made popcorn, toffee, and other candy. So this has been about 15 minutes. And I figure I'll go ahead and take a break and stop, and I'll create another video in case somebody's really bored. But this is part 1. There'll be a part 2 here in just a few minutes. This is so awesome.